Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to Sumi and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, black mind, black end. Again, hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Look, I'll say this as briefly as I can, but I got that preacher's blood and y'all know it's not going to be brief. I teach Proverbs to my students in a normal situation because that helps them with their English. Helps me with, sometimes it's helped me to learn Arabic too. Proverbs and cliches, mostly Proverbs, because that's where the wisdom is. Cliches tend to be a lot of bullshit. A cliche is something like, well, just be a good man and your day's gonna come and you're gonna be blessed. Cliches are the crap that ladies tell us, including lady relatives at times. Proverbs are where the wisdom lies. Proverbs are where real observations are reported in one or two sentences, summing up patterns. When it comes down to Proverbs and wisdom, I tell my students Proverbs specifically for that purpose. But also, right now, this quarter, I got students that are just entirely too stupid and lazy. They cheated their way through high school English classes. I got them, and they're not ready. And almost out of 52 of them, out of 52, 47 failed either the level I'm teaching or prerequisite level in the university since graduating high school. I got 5 that are not failures. I can't do anything to help them so Proverbs don't work because in the end, simply put, they can't understand basic English. But that's a different story. All I can say is they know that I'm not going to let them cheat. They know that. That's not allowed. So guess what they're going to do? They've decided they're going to lie. Because since I won't let them cheat, they've turned around and lied on me to my boss. And yeah, they've lied on me to my boss. And so I got all that smoke for them the next week, the beginning of next week. But in a normal situation, I can use the Proverbs to help them. And they learn a lot. And I give them Proverbs that are relevant to them, such as don't wait till the last minute. Now, that's a cliche that's also a proverb. I say to them that learning takes place over time and not all in the night before a test. That being said, first I'm going to give a shout out to Jaws 2003. And my second to last recording, my last recording that is not a live stream, he said in the comments section that his sister said to him that he would have his pick and his choice when these women get through with their 20s and 30s. And that he said to her, what benefit is that to me? And I would agree and I would say the same thing. What benefit is that? If that's when you get the benefit, you should be offended and you should be very angry. You should be ready to fight. There's just absolutely no reason that that's the time for a good and innocent man to have his pick and his choice. That's actually going to be the time that he should be offended. Now, Miss Philosophier said men should be thankful that they've dodged bullets with some of these ladies that have turned them away and rejected them. And I have said in multiple cases that men may have dodged some bullets, but I've also said you're being insulted. Now, both of those statements are true. You dodge bullets if you understand the game before it results in your trap. the trap that they want for you. Then if you understand that trap waiting for you and you step out, you have dodged a bullet, but you have still been insulted and should be angry. I mean, you should be angry about the insult, not necessarily in a rage where your judgment is affected, but you have a right to be offended at the intended insult. And you should act and respond as such. And you should make it known. We men should make it known en masse. You don't wait until the car has been dogged to sell it at full price. Or, better yet, stop trying to sell cows with less milk at full price. Or quit trying to sell non-lactating cows at full price. Some sort of cliche that is also a proverb needs to be introduced and reiterated until they all hear it. Now I'm going to give a shout out to Cortez Smith, because Cortez put something in that should be a proverb. Under my last video, that's before the live stream, my last upload, I should say, Cortez Smith, underneath Jaws 2003, said some wisdom, and we need to repeat this. He said, "The cock carousel is not the phase. Your relationship with her is. Those are the phases." He's pretty much saying what Green Gorilla said too. The whole phase really isn't a phase, it's a lifelong commitment. Now, what the Green Gorilla is saying is women need to know that it's not going to be a phase. That hot girl summer is not going to just last the summer. What Cortez Smith said was, whether they know it or not, you are the phase. You, the individual man in her life, are the phase. It's just your turn. We need to use more proverbs. Now, I've told my students proverbs, and some things I've said have become proverbs because they repeat them. Like when I said, in Arabic, you can't say, "You ain't slick," or "You think you slick, but I'm slicker," because slick would translate literally, and that would mean lubricated, and that wouldn't carry the same intended meaning. But they simply use the term fox to mean slick. And so what I would say is, instead of saying, well, the slickster forgot about the slicker, I have to say the fox made a mistake when he forgot about the older fox. Now, I was not really saying that for the purpose of it becoming a proverb, but it became one. I did teach them a proverb from the Congo translated into English. We don't teach old gorillas the paths of the jungle. When I taught that to them, that caught on. They repeated it again and again and again and again and again. By the same token, sometimes they teach me some. And when they teach me, I don't mind repeating them. But let me also tell y'all something else right quick about these proverbs. We need to start introducing these proverbs. We need to start saying things that are proverb status worthy so that we can quickly, because remember, when you're trying to reach these young cats, you only have a few minutes before mom's gonna step in and roll her neck and snap her fingers and clap her hands and try to put you on blast so that you don't have the opportunity to expose the inner bitch. She does not want her son to know about her own inner hot girl. Or better yet, actually, her own, let's just say inner bitch, because, she would love for some man that's not her baby daddy genetically to still raise her baby daddy. That's in her best interest. Obsidian has said this. The ultimate convenience for them is a free hand to engage in a dual mating strategy. I'm going to screw this guy because I think he's genetically superior, and I'm going to pass the baby off to the genetically inferior men. And if I don't gotta ever give them none, I'll never give them none. That's real. Because you see, the same heterosexual male libido in one man that they can at least respect is what they can't even respect as just a part of nature in another man. And they get offended, not even at that man coming at her, but they get offended at that man having one. And that's why a lot of men can get rejected. A lot of men go through life getting rejected by women they never approached. That's what happens to the average man. Because women find most men to be invisible. But they have to put it out there when you're just nice as a friend. You could try friend zoning yourself, and they still have a need to try to friend zone you and tell you what a good friend you are. Friend. Even if you are proactively befriending her and not trying to get them draws. They just got to do it. That means they got to reject you when you're not even trying to get with them. And that's not okay. So you got a few minutes, maybe less than a minute, to impart some wisdom, red pill wisdom, to the young men in your life, in your family, that need to know this. And Proverbs are some of the best ways to do that. I would tell anybody, Proverbs are some of the best ways to do this. The best thing to do is to make up your own. Start your own. Be creative before you go to the cookouts, before you go to visit them. Think about that wisdom beforehand, premeditated wisdom, and then you tell them what they need to know. In other words, take Proverbs, even the ones you just made up, and weaponize them. As a stealth weapon, of course. Weaponize them. Because if you do this and you weaponize them, by the time these kids' mothers, who are also our aunts and our sisters and our mothers and our grandmothers and such, because remember, they're also related to us. By that time, we have said the proverb. Well, I'm sorry, by the time these mothers have caught on, it's already too late, because you haven't had to keep their attention for a long time to put this idea in their head. And at this point, the only way for them to not understand more of the red pill knowledge and awareness is for the ladies to change their behavior in mass. And we already know, because Danielle done said it, they're not going to do that until we start leaving. And we've already started leaving. That's real. And we have to say to them, we got to let them know at times, these young guys, we got to let them know that this is how bad it is. We got to let them know a lot and very little, and that's what Proverbs are for. That's their purpose. So I'm going to tell you, we can start off with Cortez Smith's proverb. He also had another one that's becoming a proverb amongst the black manosphere, and that is that black women view black men through white supremacy, and we view each other through the eyes of black women. And so these right there are two that are worthy. Proverb status worthy. There are going to be more. Hopefully, and I might, if I think of some, I'll put them in the community tab for myself, but others of you are going to think of even some more. And that's a good thing. Others of you are going to come up with more than I could. But we all are going to have to pitch in to do this because we're trying to reach the younger ones. And I'm going to tell you as another example, Stephen Klingscale's proverb, or a statement that is proverb worthy. And that is, she wants you to be honest and straightforward, but if she was that way with you, her game wouldn't work. Now let that ruminate a little bit. He said that in the video that I think he put that out late last night for many of you, your time. And it was in the video entitled Why Her Standards Are So Unreal. And he goes through it and he says what the game really is. If you're an average man, you're not going to have choices in women. If she's an average woman, she'll have unlimited choices in men. You're not going to get out there and just have them throwing themselves at you. As a man, you must work on yourself again and again and again and again, or you're done. They just got to have the body. And they've got all these options. And he said a lot of that is because, you see, what she wants is a relationship. And even still, most men are never going to have women sliding into their DMs. What he wants is to dig her guts until she busts. But women have a need to bust. That's the funny thing. They still have that need to bust, and yet and still, they look right through they see right through most men. They don't see most men. And if they have to hear a man that they didn't notice, they friend zone him right off the bat. Right off the bat, they friend zone him. And they do it in an insulting manner sometimes. And this is because, again, they're at war with us. They're at war with the men that they hate, and they're at war with the men that they don't hate, but they just don't like. They're at war. They have to get, in the objective of this war is that they must get from you that which they would never tolerate from you. Or they would never tolerate having to give to you or lose to you. They must do to you what they can't tolerate from you. And they must take from you what they would never tolerate losing to you. Ultimately, you are to use your resources to raise someone else's baby. And they are offended that you, a normal man, would not just agree to something like this. This does bother them. This makes them very angry. Why won't you? How dare you? What is wrong with you? And because, see, nowadays, the climate, the cultural climate is such that they feel very comfortable saying this. The cultural climate is such that they don't see it as wrong. And you're wrong if you feel that you should be able to get them guts or even just get a date with them without agreeing to such terms. But see, they have cliches and proverbs that they have weaponized so that they can tell this to even their own sons. Even their own sons, against their own sons' interest, against their own genetic interest, because they're going to put the gender interest above their own bloodline, really. They're willing to do that. They'll raise the son that women won't want and that cannot have his own kids. The same son they conceived with the men that they tell you that they don't want, but they actually do. And so we're here to make them understand. We're here to make these young brothers in our families understand that this is largely a industrialized world, Western world, first world problem, this misandrist feminism. And that we are here to reward the women of the world in other parts of the globe that don't engage in this. That's what it is. Because it is a psychological and a cold war, they got to get in your head. And what I'm saying is the proverbs are the way they do it. So we need to get with it. I hope that this is a benefit. Hopefully, one day this recording will not be necessary, but in the meantime, hopefully it will help. Thanks for listening, Black Heart, Black Mind, Black Out, Assalamu Alaikum, and Black Heterosexual Non-Selective Male Power just because they don't like it.